Happy first day of November. We have made it through the spooky month. Well, technically I'm still in the spooky month because I'm pre-filming this. And I can't believe I'm having the video go up on the first day of November. I'm Morgan. If this is the first time that you've clicked on my channel, I hope that you enjoy this. Find me amusing enough to subscribe and stick around and talk about books. The end of October was a little bit rough for us, but I hope everybody got their books read and had a wonderful time. We have Halloween tomorrow. Yeah, I'm not pre-filming it that much. And so that should be nice and fun to take out the kids, go trick-or-treating, and do all the things. Now, let's move on to the stats and the reason you're actually here. For my stat sheets that graphics that I made, I did not actually include the book that carried over from September because I hadn't thought of it yet until I physically moved the books in here and was looking at my other wrap-up. And I was like, oh, right, that one. So it's not included on these stats. For the month of October, the books that I meant to read, I actually did get 5 books completed. 3 of them ended up being 4-star or more books. One of them was a 3.5 stars, and one of them we just rounded up to a 3-star. It wasn't really quite there, but we rounded up for the sake of it. I have 1 in progress and 2 from the Spookopalathon that never even got started or touched. Of these, 2 of them were ebooks, 1 of them was strictly audio, and 2 of them were physical audio mixed. And that's a total of 1,464 pages and 13 hours to listen to. Like 13 strictly. I mean, maybe if I tried hard enough, I could figure out how many between the mixed I read physically and listened to, but I'm not entirely certain of that. Could I track like day by day? Maybe. Maybe we make that a project some point in November. Why I do this to myself, though, I don't know. But maybe we do that. The books that I didn't get to finish, or didn't get to at all, would be Ashes in the Star-Cursed King by Carissa Broadbent for Read a Book with Vampires, and Letter to 3 Witches, which would be the lowest rated book on my Goodreads TBR. Yeah, it just didn't happen. Now, on to the things that did get read. The one that didn't make it into the graphic that carried over from September would be Oathbringer by Brandon Sanderson, and I did do the review there. The Stormlight Archive follows a group of characters on the world of Roshar, which is right now in this cataclysmic state of devastation where an ancient enemy has come back and is waging war against the population to, seek out total annihilation and have the planet for themselves. And in every book, you get flashback chapters to one of the characters in the past to give more character depth and show how they got to be the person that they are. And this book's flashback sequence is from Dalinar's perspective. So we're showing the younger Blackthorn and why he is known as the Blackthorn and feared as a warrior and had gained his reputation, and then what happened to make him into the person he was, and the politician. Pretty much him from young 20, or was he even 20 in the first one? Oh man, I don't remember. It might have been 20, might have been an older teenager, all the way until he's actually going to the Shattered Plains to begin the war with the Vengeance Pact. So very interesting. Lots of things happened. You find out things about Spren and Radiance and the Recreants. Yes, lots of things. Do love this book. Could have used more wit. That is all I will say. But I know we will get more scenes of him in the next one. Not quite so much. Next book, though, would be the book club book of October, which was The Twisted Ones by T. Kingfisher. And the review for this one should be coming out next week, because I like to do them after the month's over. This way people have the chance to read it throughout the whole month whenever they wish to finish it. And this one is a horror. Elements of horror. This one really made me think, oh my goodness, can I read horror? But it's not, it's classified as a horror, but it's not super horror. It's just got creepy vibes and some weird things. So not really, I don't know. I don't think I can classify it as true horror or not. I am not read enough, and also I don't know if I wish to read true horror. We will get into that another point in time though. This book follows Melissa as she has been recruited by her father to go to her dead grandmother's house, who turns out she was a hoarder, and clean it out so that they can sell the house. And there's things. Melissa is a book editor. I'm still uncertain. I think she's freelance, but then again, she could work just for a publisher from home. I don't know how that situation works. But because of Melissa's editor brain is technically how she ends up reading her grandfather's journal. And like she just, was correcting things in her mind of like things she was reading of it. And this made her keep reading. And then weird things started happening. She thought he had dementia. Until she starts noticing things. And you get to see her pet dog, Bongo. Yes, that's it. Who is a red coonhound, and he is just the stupidest, goofiest, and adorablest. Moving on though into the next one, which was a completely different feel, but I thought would be a perfect one for fall because, well, the color scheme looked like a fall book, and also it's about a ghost, or it has a ghost. That's If I Have to Be Haunted by Miranda Sun. This is the Fairy Loot edition, but the other one has I'll put it up somewhere, but it looks fall themed. And it does take place right before Halloween, so perfect timing. Weird kitten noises are happening. I lost my train of thought and I don't know where we were anymore. But we are following Kara as she is a ghost talker, so she can see, hear, talk to ghosts, and has been able to her whole life. This is something she inherited from her grandmother. And her grandmother and her mother have a very bad relationship, had a very bad relationship. Her grandmother is deceased. And her mother can't see ghosts anymore, so they can't communicate. But her mother wants her to have one sort of life, and her grandmother wants her to carry on the ghost speaking. And so Kara is kind of caught in between and not really giving into either side so much. She's not giving up and suppressing the ghost speaking like her mom wants, but she's also not learning fully what she can do and use her abilities like her grandmother wants. So she pretty much just tries to not let the ghosts know that she can see them. But we are following Kara as her and her her whole school career nemesis rival Zach, as they have been fighting pretty much the whole time. And they are paired in this assignment in science class, I want to say. When they are supposed to meet up to work on it though, Zach doesn't show, and Kara gets mad, leaves, stumbles across his dead body. But lo and behold, of course, Zach's standing right there and doesn't really realize what has happened, and discovers Kara's secret that she can see ghosts because she's the only one that can see him. And she points out his body. However, Zach did not die under normal circumstances. That's why he is convincing Kara to help him be alive again. And they go on a quest. So you go on a questy story. You travel to lots of different various locations. This was a good Halloween fall themed read. This is a YA book. It's the first and will be a series. Do I think it needs to be? Maybe it'll just be a duology like so many YA books. But I'm still not sure that there is enough outside of the epilogue to really continue it. But it is a YA. Let's do that. And it reads as a YA. It's good for that. The romance is not overly done. Do not go into this expecting a YA romance. It is a subplot. And it is completely realistic for teenagers. So there's that. We're going to move on from that topic though. Then I listened to Dead Silence by S.A. Barnes. This is a sci-fi horror and I loved it. It was 4 stars. It was so good. And I'd heard, great things about it, and it was intriguing sounding, so I'd been wanting to try it, even if I was nervous. And it was fine. If it was a movie, which, yes, it is kind of like the movie Ghost Ship that came out in the early 2000s, similar overarching premise, is that the right word maybe? Similar in that regard. And yeah, that was creepy. That was hard to watch, but summer parties. Moving on though. This we are following Kovalik. Yes, that's her last name. So this one's mostly used. Claire Kovalik, who you slowly uncover things about her past. Her and her crew are a communications relay team that go around and update the communications relays, but they're about to be put out of their jobs by computers and robots. So they're on their last one, updating it when they receive a distress beacon. Then they decide to go try to help this person because, you know, that's what you are supposed to do. They go past the Kuiper Belt, which is pretty much, you know, the edge of the solar system. There's more in the solar system, but that is the most charted part of the solar system. So they have to extend past that to find this ship that they received the distress beacon on. And lo and behold, it is a luxury space cruise liner, the only one ever made in existence, that has been missing for 20 years. Thus, they decide to try to claim salvage on it, to take it back and, you know, set themselves up, which is kind of what the description said. They said they were a salvage crew. They were not a salvage crew. But going aboard the ship, immediately something is kind of wrong. Can't tell what. And they find out that they can't exactly get it back. So they try to do a thing. Oh my gosh, though. It is a split timeline between when they are there on the Aurora and Claire, as she is in some sort of rehabilitation facility after being found with a fractured skull. And she is recounting the events on the Aurora to people for the company that they work for that pretty much controls all of space flight, space technology, and colonization efforts, as well as some brief flashbacks to Claire's childhood. Brief flashbacks, as pieces start to come together. What is never fully explained, though, is something that happens to Claire, and only Claire, I think. And it's never explained of is that really what happened, or did she just think that that's what happened? Never fully explained. Towards the end, when we already knew what was happening and why this was happening, but something happens to like just Claire. But did it really happen? Because it never says that anybody else kind of saw this thing. Or was it just injuries from something else? Were there really even injuries? I really enjoy this. I want to read Ghost Station, even though I know people have had a little bit less reception of that one. And then there's another S.A. Barnes book coming out next year that maybe we can get that one. Moving on, though. We're talking too much again. Okay, then we read A New Lease on Death by Olivia Black. This is pitched as a paranormal mystery following two characters, Ruby Young and Cordelia Graves. That's it. This one was the one that we bumped up to 3 stars, but it wasn't really 3 stars. It just drug. And by the time I got to the end of it, I feel like nothing really happened. Our two characters, though, are supposed to be solving the murder of their next door neighbor who was found shot on the sidewalk in front of their apartment. Now, they are only roommates in the sense that Ruby moved into this apartment where the previous tenant is dead, and it came fully furnished, so very lucky for Ruby. Their names even, after I thought about it, their names even are just too cliche, play on words on them. Ruby Young is 20, bubbly, bright personality, people person. Cordelia Graves is a ghost. Young Graves. She was in her 40s, tall. She described herself as not thin. I don't know. There was too many times within the first 80 pages that it was comparing these people as one is short and perky, the other is tall and not, and serious and bubbly, serious, loner, chatterbox, boy like quiet. Too many times, especially the petite and perky or bubbly, those exact words too many times for me, so I'll almost DNF this book. And the mystery aspect, they barely I didn't pick up on who it was, only because there's no clues to that, because they were not good at investigating. They stumbled upon who it was mostly because the person confessed while attempting to do something else. And then the big twist at the end wasn't. Of course, that's what happened. The last book I picked up this month was great though. That would be The God and the Gumiho. This was another 4 stars by Sophie Kim. This one, I did not know, takes place in the 90s. I think 92, 95. It's not referenced too much. But while I was reading it, I commented on Discord, I was like, I don't even know why. Why was it set in the 90s? Like, it doesn't seem to have any really need to. But then the end, and now I get it. And now I get it. So that sets up for the next book, taking place more in today's time period. We are following, though, 2 main characters. So, I listened to the audiobook a lot for this because the names of the creatures are in Korean. Our main characters' names are Korean, as we are following Kim Honey, and Seka the Fallen? Seka? Man, I could say it earlier. The Fallen God. So, the God and the Gumiho. And Honey is the notorious Scarlet Fox who went on, a killing spree of killing males in the 1800s, became very infamous, and has been kind of in hiding since then. And he was fallen, ousted for creating a coup against his brother in the heavenly realm. And so he was thrown to heaven and said that you have to capture so many unruly demons to earn your place back here. And even, like, his power was even mostly taken away. He can only barely use his power. And he's been on Earth for 628 years now, I think. At the current point in time, though, there is a specific unruly who has actually escaped. There was not on Earth. Escaped the underworld, kind of. And is now there taking victims and amassing more power. So he is tasked by his brother that if you catch this and the Scarlet Fox, you will be reinstated immediately. Well, she hears this and decides, I can't let him, suspect somebody else. I can't let him catch me. So I will work with him and steer him in the wrong direction, at least for one. But I will help him catch the other one because I like living here and I don't want this murderous thing happening. And she is a very sly, mischievous type of person because Fox, so she has that. And he is the god of mischief. So their banter is, yes. Interestingly, there is a romance aspect. And really, I didn't feel it so much at first. Because, it's either it could or it couldn't. They could just, keep being frenemies, allies, or it could turn into romance. I didn't feel it until, I don't know, maybe the forced kiss, maybe? And, he was just mind blown, and I'm like, oh, that's kind of sweet. That's kind of sweet. So much fun. So much fun. Sunshine, hi. What I really liked about the characters, though, is they are on this investigation. And there was something specifically that was happening that either it could be our prime suspect or it could be a red herring. But there would have been a few kind of clues, and I'm like, come on, it's so obvious. And they noticed, and I appreciate that so much that she wrote that into the characters, that they noticed this, they picked up on this, and they kind of acted upon it. And I'm not going to say much about, was it right or was it wrong, but I appreciated that they noticed that it didn't treat them and us like stupid, that they were able to put these pieces together and move forward with it. So many things don't. They treat it like, oh, it's such a revelation. Like the reader knew the whole time, but the character didn't. And I feel like it really makes the characters seem dumber in that way. And we also have a book mail. I feel like the box is much bigger. I should have probably opened this too. It was obviously sitting next to somebody's soap or something in the mail people's car because it smells so strong. Like, oh my God, so strong. This one is the sci-fi subscription from the Broken Binding that is the start to their second trilogy that they are doing. The Martian wasn't really a trilogy. The Andy Weir set wasn't really a trilogy, but it put out his 3 books, which, while I really enjoyed both the 2 that I have already read, I did not, and they did do gorgeous editions. I didn't think I should get special editions of those. And the Broken Binding always has it wrapped so well. This really makes it feel even more like a present than like the other book boxes. And is The Three-Body Problem by Xian Lu? Nope, not gonna say that right. Oh my gosh. 1967. Yi Wenji witnesses Red Guards beat her father to death during China's Cultural Revolution. This singular event will shape not only the rest of her life, but also the future of mankind. 4 decades later, Beijing police ask nanotech engineer Wang Mao to infiltrate a secretive cabal of scientists after a spate of inexplicable suicides. Wang's investigation will lead him to a mysterious online game and immerse him in a virtual world ruled by the intractable and unpredictable interaction of its 3 sons. So this is a series that I haven't read yet, but I have been wanting to read, and also, you know, I wanted to try out their subscription. So, I did that. And the last thing I got from the Broken Binding that was, you know, the whole trilogy, you can't see now, but turned out to be awesome. And I loved it. So, which I know that the last book gets like mixed reviews and stuff, but so The Three-Body Problem, another book to go on the shelf somewhere. Oh gosh, I really don't know where to put this one, because we're not going to talk about the shelves. Then the book that I am still currently reading, that I probably should have put before the book mail, would be Dawn Chard by Brandon Sanderson. This is the novella that goes, thought that was a dog, between Oathbringer and Rhythm of War. It is a very short one, so I should be done later today, maybe, depending on how long this video takes to edit. And maybe I do one more read for Halloween. Maybe, I don't know. I should probably not, but I might. Sunshine's now talking to her mouse in the background. Yep. That she is. Whole conversations I don't understand. Okay. I hope though that you were able to complete your October TBR. You just had a wonderful month and a great Halloween yesterday. And if you like this, you'll subscribe to stick around for more reviews like the Twisted ones that are coming out next week and general bookish things planned for November. I hope you're having an excellent day, finding something great to read, and I'll see you in the next one.